So, it does look like PlayStation's playing dirty. Like I've said over and over again, and everyone on Twitter, don't think I don't remember. They are blocking Final Fantasy games and games in general from coming to the Xbox platform. According to Windows Central, and I know some of you are going to say, Addict, it's Windows Central. Why should we believe Windows Central? You'll believe Windows Central when there's negative news on something related to Xbox, but the moment they post something that is relatively positive to make PlayStation look bad, it's always Windows Central. It's got Windows in its name. Let's get on with the video, man. You guys know what it is. It's Gaming Addict here coming at you with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Microsoft confirming that Sony has blocked 4 games from hitting the Xbox forever. And I think we're going to really focus on the forever part because I think there's more games than just these 4. But these 4 games, Sony has backed up the truck up to Square Enix, to Konami or whoever is making Silent Hill, and they're like, look, we don't want it for 1 year. We don't want it for 2 years. We want it forever. Let's go ahead and get on with it, man. Let's switch over to the actual link. We'll read everything that Jez got going on over here. I'm pretty sure, yeah. It is Jez making it, Jez Corden. Obviously, shout out to Jez Corden, man. Microsoft confirms that Sony has blocked these 4 games from hitting Xbox forever. Bloodborne, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and more are apparently being held hostage by Sony. Now, the only thing I don't really agree with is the Bloodborne, because Sony does own the IP, but I guess you can't really go too much into detail because the game's not going to get made unless they agree to let them own the IP. It's just like Sunset Overdrive with Xbox. That's the reason that they went to Xbox, is because they were going to let them keep it. A lot of people don't realize that it's a big issue. When developers want to make something, they have to usually bargain or give away the game that they are thinking about making. Or sometimes these developers and publishers, they reach out to these developers to have a game that they are personally wanting to be made, or they just buy the timed exclusive in general. What you need to know: Microsoft is wrestling with 3 major retailers over attempt to acquire Activision Blizzard. Jez, you didn't put King in there. Activision Blizzard King, but you know what? We're gonna let that go. We're gonna let that go today. As part of the proceedings, Microsoft has revealed that Sony has set up 2 exclusive deals for third-party games on PlayStation. It seems that Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy 16, and Silent Hill 2 Remake will never hit Xbox, despite the associated publisher silence on the matter. Let's keep reading. Then we'll go over, my actual thoughts on what these words are. Microsoft also listed From Software's Bloodborne as an example of a third-party developed game that has been blocked from non-PlayStation platforms, which could imply that, requested Windows PC port is out of the question too. Sony has been friendlier towards PC in the recent year, though I'm keeping the hope closed for this one. So he's pretty much saying, look, that's a very important thing. I'm going to post this in the comment section below. That's pretty much, he's going to go over his take, go over exactly what these games are. We already know this for the most part. We're here for my opinion. In my opinion only. If you want to read Jez's opinion, it will be in the comment section below, with a description, not the comment section. So let's switch back, man. Let's switch back. I've told you guys for the longest time, as long as I can remember, that sales are important, and sales definitely get you over the finish line to getting something like these games bought. But what never made sense to me when people would say, Addict, the reason that Square Enix isn't putting nothing on your platform is the sales. The sales on your platform is so low that they don't see the, what's what I'm looking for, the financial backing to even port it. And like I said, I've talked to people that have ported games that have a lot of experience in this area, and they did tell me, look, it takes some time, but it's easy to make that money back. So the crazy part when you look at something like this is it's not financials clearly. It's Sony has came back and they're going over there and they're just saying, we want this exclusively. Now, I'm not against the practice, because I understand that when you do something like this, you got to make your console more apart than other consoles. You got to be in a position where you can show value in your console compared to an Xbox or a Nintendo Switch. What I'm against is the fact that everyone, and including Sony and PlayStation, is trying to act like they don't do this. When I bring up Pixel, the Final Fantasy Pixel collection, Addict, there's no reason that they would do that. Square Enix is choosing not to post it on Xbox, which clearly you see here now. Pixel collection wasn't named in this, but I think, Jez was mainly talking about games that is for sure never coming to the Xbox platform. And that's probably a bigger backing truck that's coming back to PlayStation for that game. I have speculated a few times about potentially Sony and PlayStation buying Square Enix, so this could be something that's, setting the pot a little bit. They know that they're going to be bought in the future. And what's interesting is that the fact that they have went and they have secured that Silent Hill remake. That I didn't catch. So it's not just Square Enix. Sony is doing whatever they can to compete. And what irritates me is the fact that Sony plays the victim that they don't do this. Their fans play the victim that they don't do this, when clearly they have no problem locking content and locking full-blown games away from their competition's fan base. So let's stop with this. The only reason Square Enix isn't doing it is because of sales. Look, some games probably don't sell as well on the Xbox platform as it does the other platforms, which, to my knowledge, they have more units out there, so clearly it would sell more on the Switch that has over 100 million and on the PlayStation that has around that same amount. So that makes sense. What irritates me is just people act like just because it might not sell the most on those, then why do they even do it? That doesn't make sense to me. When you want your stuff on as many platforms as possible, and as long as you pay that port and get a little bit on the back end with it, what's the pain? What is what's what I'm looking for? How does it hurt them? It doesn't hurt them. It does nothing but positivity on establishing boundaries when it comes to the Xbox platform, showing this fan base, look, if you keep investing into our products, we're going to keep releasing the games on your product. And that's the thing that is always set wrong with me. And this article has shown that, look, there is a lot of sleazy stuff going on behind closed doors. So I don't blame PlayStation for doing what they're doing, but I do blame them for playing the victim when it comes to Microsoft buying Activision. I've said it once and I'll say it again. The only difference between Sony buying all these timed exclusives and all these full-blown exclusives off of Square Enix, which is pretty much every game Square Enix makes for the most part. Now, you do have a lot of the littler titles going to Switch and then sooner or later coming everywhere, but that's far in between. We don't really get a whole lot of those. And that's why I said it doesn't make a lot of sense where people act like the reason they don't do it is because of finances, when they're putting stuff like Crisis Core on the Xbox. They're putting the Origins of Paradise on there. So it doesn't make sense. And right here you see it. It's plain as day. Sony is doing it, not Square Enix. Well, Square Enix is doing it too. Let's be real here. It's both of them. But if you're going to offer me a bunch of money, I'm probably going to take that, especially just not porting it to a competition's platform, especially if that bag's big enough. Square Enix is just trying to survive, man. Now, obviously, I do think that they need to take some accountability in this because they are going out there and agreeing to these terms. So if Xbox gamers, you want to boycott away. At this point, I don't blame you. I don't. But anyway, put in the comment section below, what do you guys feel? Do you guys feel like this is slimy? I think it's just business. It's like I said, my issue is Sony is trying to disguise what Microsoft's doing with the Activision deal. It's just business. It is they would never do anything close to that. Clearly, you see here, they have no problem making all these timed exclusives. There is differences between buying a company like Blizzard, Activision, and King and making timed exclusivities. And the only difference is they own the IPs. And I feel like that actually gives you more of a right to put stuff exclusive on your platform, because you're not just going in there and just picking up a timed exclusive deal. You're committing to that brand. You're committing to those IPs. And I feel like that right there is enough reason to make some of these games exclusive, especially the way things have been going. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys think. I'm curious. Got another video coming out tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoy it. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.